Hello, citizens of our nation, RAWR here, and we have made it to the good stuff. Thank God. We have made it through the piles of garbage that are known as The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith. So today we're going to be talking about Rogue One, a Star Wars story, yo! As of right now, Rogue One is the most recent Star Wars film as it came out just last year in 2016. And for those of you who don't know, Rogue One centers on the story of this group of rebels stealing the plans to the Death Star, which is the Empire's ultimate weapon of mass destruction. The film takes place in between episodes 3 and 4 in a story that has only been mentioned in the original trilogy. So, let's get right into it. I want to start off by saying that this film, by far, has the best action sequences out of any Star Wars film ever. The film feels very different from any of the previous Star Wars films because the cinematography, the editing, it really makes this film feel like more of a straight up war film like Saving Private Ryan, for example. Star Wars has always been a fantasy series with mystical elements, such as the whole concept of the living force, and Rogue One, for the most part, eliminates that, which allows it to focus on the grittiness and the violence of war. There are no Jedi in this movie. It's just the Empire and the Rebellion, fighting each other with all their blasters, all their secret weapons, all their X-Wings and TIE Fighters and all of that junk. And that results in some pretty spectacular action sequences, such as the Battle of Scarif at the end, which is so filled with suspense. It has you on the edge of your seat. And the space battle at the end of the film is by far the second best space battle ever put to film. It is fantastic. It is second only to the space battle at the end of Star Wars A New Hope, which we're gonna talk about next week. But yeah, it is so much fun. Very well done, so exciting, it's fantastic. The film stars Felicity Jones as Jyn Erso, and I was so excited when I found out that Felicity Jones was going to be joining Star Wars, because she has been one of my favorite actresses for the past couple of years now. Like seriously, I loved Felicity in other films such as The Theory of Everything and A Monster Calls, and even though you didn't see her much in it, she did pretty good as Felicia Hardy in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I absolutely loved her work in this film as Jyn Erso. I'm such a big fan of the character, and that's really all due to Felicity's performance. Seriously, any of you guys that know me in real life know that ever since Rogue One came out, I've been a big Jyn Erso fan. I freaking love her! I also really enjoyed the performance of Diego Luna as Captain Cassian Andor, and it makes me so happy that a franchise as big as Star Wars is showing some representation out there by casting a Hispanic actor like Diego Luna in one of the main roles. To be fair though, Star Wars has always been pretty good about that, whether it be back in the day where you put a black actor like Billy D. Williams as Lando Calrissian in one of the main roles in Empire Strikes Back, or today where you put an actor like John Boyega, another black actor playing Finn in The Force Awakens. Not only that, but the women as well. Like Star Wars has always added great, strong female characters, whether it be Leia in the original trilogy, Padme in the prequels, we have Rey in the new trilogy now, and this film is no different because, like I said, Jyn Erso is freaking awesome. Star Wars is one of those franchises that isn't afraid to show that representation matters, whether it be in Hollywood or just in the world in general. It is very important. I was very happy to see a Hispanic actor in Star Wars for the first time. At least I believe it was the first time. With that out of the way though, I also really enjoyed the chemistry between all of the members in the team, not just Jyn Erso or Cassian, but also other characters such as Chirrut Inwood, Baze Malbus, Bodhi, K2SO. It was so much fun, watching them work together, make their plans, and then, seeing what they would do after their plans fail and how they're gonna get out of the situations that they were in when they're on the brink of being killed. The interactions between Jyn Erso and Cassian were great. The interactions between Chirrut Inwood and Baze Malbus were great. The interactions between K2SO and any other character in the movie were priceless, and hysterical. Like, I was dying of laughter at pretty much any K2SO scene in this entire film. K2SO was a lot of people's favorite character from this film, and even though he wasn't mine, I could understand why he was loved so much and he was so many people's favorite character. That being said though, I really only have one negative in this film, and unfortunately it's a pretty significant one. The one big problem is that other than Jin Urso and to a lesser extent Cassian, the film really has zero character development. Like, I don't know anything about Jared Inwood or Baze Malbus or Bodhi, or really anyone else other than the two characters that I mentioned before. In this film, it feels like they didn't even try to develop or flesh out any of the characters other than Jin and Cassian, and that is a disappointment because every single Star Wars film has at least tried to do that. No, the prequels definitely tried to develop and flesh out their characters. I personally don't think that the prequels were very successful at it, but they tried at least. And then of course we have the original trilogy that tried to do this, and it did so spectacularly with flying colors. And then we have The Force Awakens, which its characters were just as good as the characters in the original trilogy, and that's why people love them so much, and that's why everyone is so excited for The Last Jedi to come out next month. And I know that they have tried to develop these characters further and, you know, fill out their backstories and such in like several novels and comic books that have come out since the release of Rogue One, but a film should really be able to stand on its own. Like, I read a lot of the Star Wars novels. I'm so into the new canon right now, but you should be able to watch the films and enjoy them just as much and understand them just as much as someone who has not read any of the canon novels. And so far, I think that this is really the only Star Wars film that does require you to do just a little bit more research specifically into those characters in order to enhance your enjoyment of the film. And it just sucks because, you know, everyone dies at the end of this film, and you know, that's not a spoiler because if you know anything about Star Wars, you knew that everyone was gonna die. However, when these characters did die, I didn't feel the full emotional impact that I should have. Like, I did feel that impact when Jin died and when Cassian died, but when like Baze Malbus or Jared Inwood or Bodhi or K2SO, I didn't care too much about it. Like, I felt a little sad, but that was it. For the most part, I did not care. Overall, while Rogue One is really light on the character development, it is still an incredibly fun thrill ride that Star Wars fans will definitely enjoy. On my rating scale, Rogue One, A Star Wars Story gets an 8.5 out of 10. So, Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, have you guys seen it? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Or do you want to see it? Why or why not? Comment down below. Let me know. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe today for more content. Farewell, citizens of our nation. Catch you all next time.